Hello and welcome to another episode of the ZTV Sports Report, your home for all things Akron Zips athletics. I'm your host, Megan Williams.
And I'm Zach Leininger.
And in today's episode, we are going to continue our coverage of all the fall sports. So don't go anywhere, because the ZTV Sports Report starts now. Welcome back. To start off today's episode, we're going to talk about the football team, so let's take it over to Taz and see what he thought of their recent game against Bowling Green.
Hello, sports fans. This is Taz with ZTV Sports Report. The Bowling Green Falcons secured a 27-20 victory over the Akron Zips in a closely contested game. Bowling Green opened strong with a 96-yard drive, finished by Jason Patterson's 2-yard touchdown. Akron quickly responded with Ben Findley leading the Zips to a field goal by Taj Bullock and Garrison Smith capitalizing on a muffled punt to take a 10-7 lead. Patterson scored again for Bowling Green before halftime, giving the Falcons a 17-10 advantage. Ben Findley tied the game with a 5-yard rushing touchdown, followed by another field goal from Garrison Smith, leveling the score at 20-20 in the fourth quarter. The game's decisive moment came when Harold Fannin Jr. broke free for a 31-yard touchdown on a crucial fourth down, giving Bowling Green the lead for good. Ben Finley threw over 200 yards, rushed for a touchdown, and kept the Zips competitive throughout the game. Although the Zips fell short, the resilience execution showed they can challenge strong opponents as they move forward in their season. This has been Taz with ZTV Sports Report, and go Zips!
Thank you, Taz. So, Zach, this football team is just really on the struggle bus right now. We really can't find our ways off of it, honestly. This Bowling Green game, those Falcons just soared over us, beating us 27-20. I think the saddest part of this game, which there was a lot of since we lost, was in the final quarter when Ben Finley threw it to one of his receivers in the end zone and it hit him right on the face mask. So, obviously, that's not a touchdown. So, Zach, what do you have to say about this game?
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at this game against Bowling Green, it's just unfortunate to lose this game. As you take a look at just as the scoring breakdown, Bowling Green goes on a 7-0 run, then Akron scores 10 straight, then Bowling Green scores 10 straight, Akron comes back and scores 10 straight, and then we're 20-20 heading into the fourth, or midway through the fourth there. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Ben Finley just wasn't able to connect with Noel there in the end zone.
No, he was not.
And, Bowling Green gets the ball back. They take full advantage of the opportunity. They roll down the field, 2.5 minutes left in the game. Found a hole in the Zips defense, ran it in, and the rest was history. And the reason I say it's an unfortunate loss is because when you look at the stats, it's pretty just about dead even across the board. Rushing yards, Bowling Green 118, Akron 115, passing yards 268 to 206, total yards 386 to 321. Then of course we have, as I mentioned, the scoring breakdown of this game, and it just, when you look at it, being in a game that you have a chance to win and not come away with the win, it's just not good for the Zips, who desperately needed a win to keep things rolling, keeping their playoff hopes alive. And this is really crushes the morale, makes it even harder to get back into the next game and even rebound from here. Because now they pretty much just about have to win out to have a chance at the MAC championship, which we know is very hard to do. And, it's just a tough loss to have, a game that we shouldn't have lost. But truthfully, it comes down to Bowling Green taking advantage of those opportunities. when they had the ball, Akron not capitalize those opportunities, and it's just something that has to be cleaned up moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, like before we even started playing, I was like, "Oh, Bowling Green's gonna wipe the floor with us," just
Right.
because they're an amazing team this season. But then we do that, and we act like we have a chance, and we really are competitive and are in it point for point, and then it just ends because we couldn't catch that ball in the end zone. If we caught that ball, it might have been tied, and it could have been gone into overtime or something to that effect, and it just. If he would have caught that ball, I wonder how different that game would have ended. I guess we'll never know, Zach. So now it is time to talk about the men's soccer team. And we recently got to sit down with head coach Jared Embick. So let's see how that interview went.
What's up, Zips fans? Zach Leininger here. Today I have the privilege of speaking with head coach of the men's soccer team, Jared Embick. How you doing today, Coach?
Doing well, thanks.
Awesome. So looking at the season overall right now, the team is sitting at 1-3-3. Just from your perspective, I'm just curious what you feel is going right, the things the team's doing right, and what you feel is going wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think the record is, we're obviously disappointed in the record. And, I feel like the way the games have gone, it's a little harsh on us. I feel like one game we were probably outplayed, and that was Ohio State. I think on that day they were better. And I think the other games we've outplayed the opponents, but in soccer it comes down to scoring goals and preventing goals, and I think we haven't capitalized on a lot of the chances we have created, and whether it be great plays by the keeper or the defending team, or we hit the post, and then the few opportunities we're allowing, we're not doing a good enough job defensively to stop those goals, and we left ourselves vulnerable for some results that probably shouldn't happen.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like the struggle the teams have right now, do you think that's like attributed to loss of like Shukaluk, Paulus, some of the bigger heavy hitters, like, or if it's more of the, I guess, because it's a younger team looking at all the freshmen, do you think it's a combination of both?
Yeah, we lost some key pieces, a lot of it, some leadership, right? You lost Joey, Shuki was one of the leading scorers in the country, Will Jackson, another senior, Joel, another senior. We bring back a lot of talent, and I think it's what our struggle has been is integrating players in the group that we returned. Finding out that chemistry of that lineup, and then off the bench, we are very young. Almost any player we bring off the bench is almost a new player, and I think you've seen some struggles at times when we've used the bench, and some of that inexperience has hurt us. But when you look at the back line. We have a new defensive midfielder, Matt Dries. He was here last year, but didn't play as much. And then without Joel and Willie, we got two other starters in the back line. I think you can see some of the early goals against are just some of the positioning, some of the focus that we need in the back half to deal with some of these counterattacks. We've lacked critical moments, and we've been punished probably ruthlessly more than normal.
Yeah, so I guess going off that, soccer, it's a very long game, 90 minutes of action. What are some of the ways you keep the players in a good mindset, if the team starts losing early on?
Yeah, I think if you're talking about in the season, you just try to keep the focus to one game, and now with the Big East, we can focus on that. In the game, a lot of it is trying to keep them talking. Like if you can talk and give instruction to players and teammates, then you're in the present and you can stay focused. I think our difficulty has been, all right, chance after chance, we kind of get frustrated. We get like, man, is it ever going to go in? And then we think about things that aren't helping us, and then boom, we're hitting a moment, and now we're losing a game we should be winning.
Right. So looking, specifically into some of the players, in just 7 games, Mitch Butler he's already allowed 10 goals, which is a little uncharacteristic from what we've seen. What do you feel is the reason for his struggles so far?
Yeah, I think some of these goals that have gone against, he's kind of taken a little too personal, and then when that happens, now he seems to be second guessing himself. And as a goalkeeper, if you start doing that can be a problem. So he's a very good keeper, one of the best in the country. I anticipate him finding his game, but as our team in front of him's got to do a better job helping him. 3 of the goals have been PKs, and then there's been obviously a couple just point-blank shots. I mean, I would say at least half the goals, there's no not much he can do about it. And I think that's weighing on him. And he's just got to refocus and play to his ability.
Are you considering playing some of the other guys? I know it's the other keepers are all freshmen from what I noticed. Is that a consideration, or have full confidence in Mitch?
No, we have full confidence in Mitch. I think we have some good young keepers that are capable of playing and helping the team, and their day will come. But right now, I still think Mitch is the guy, and I still think he's the best choice for us.
All right. So looking into this week, this weekend, the team starts conference play. How are you getting the team ready for this Big East competition?
Yeah, for us, it comes at a good time. We've had a frustrating non-conference, and what I told the group is there's no non-conference national championship trophy that's awarded. Last year we were unbeaten going into conference play, and then we had our struggles. We faced the adversity in conference. I go, now we've faced the adversity out of conference, and now we get to look forward to conference and kind of clean slate here, 0-0, and get to start at home. So I think for us, it's coming out with a lot of energy and excitement, and focusing on conference play.
All right, well, I'm excited to see what you guys do. Best of luck moving forward, and that about does it for this interview. Just want to once again thank Coach Embick for taking the time to sit down with us, and as always, go Zips.
Thank you, Coach Embick, for sitting down with us for that interview. So, Zach, this men's soccer team is just having an amazing conference season. Before this Villanova game, we went up against the Xavier Musketeers. They just really didn't have any answer for us. We were able to beat them 1-0. As always, Mitch Butler had an amazing game that night. And looking at this Villanova game, we had an amazing performance by Emil Eskalainen, like he always does. Scoring 3 goals as one person is insane to me. Hat trick. That's exactly what we want to see. Mitch Butler also had an amazing game this night, just like always. So what do you want to say about this game?
Yeah, I just think taking a look at the men's team right now, they've done a great job of bouncing back from how they started the season. As we know, they had a lot of struggles in non-conference games, just being in a lot of games that had a chance to win and just not capitalizing on those games. But they've really seemed to take Coach Embick's message to heart there, in the fact being that they don't give a trophy out to the non-conference champions, and they've done a good job of just taking conference play as an opportunity to restart, to refresh. It just gives them a clean slate, and they've just been playing exceptionally. As you mentioned, Emil Eskalainen, just alone in this game, he had 12 shots, 5 on goal, and converts 3 of those into goals. He's just been an absolute stud for this team this season, really taking the place of number 9 from last year, Jason Shukaluk. Because as you look into the stats, Emil Eskalainen is number 1 in goals per game. He's number 1 in points per game. He's number 2 in shots per game. I believe he's tied or just up there in game-winning goals. And he's just across the board is looking as one of the best players in college soccer this year.
For sure.
Another guy, Mitch Butler, as you mentioned, fan favorite, show favorite. He's had himself a good year thus far. Really, getting out of the funk he was in, a few games ago. Just a lot of just being in his head and getting frustrated with some of those goals. But he's sitting tied 28th in shutouts, tied number 2 in total goalie minutes played. So you can just see the game in and game out just how much Mitch is. How much his work ethic shines through, just how much he wants to be on the field, how hard he works, and just doing a great job being a solid anchor for this team. And then I think the biggest point overall is just that this game against Villanova finally gets Akron back in the ranked category. Because as of this moment, Akron is sitting 25th in the country, which I think is just phenomenal, and it's just puts the Zips back in the place that we've expected them to be, that we've seen them be year after year. And they're really rising back up to the standard that they've set for themselves. And I just believe that as we continue through the conference play into the postseason, I think that as long as they just continue to keep playing the same way they are, just with the same energy, the same intensity, and just communicating like they are, I believe that Akron is going to be the team to beat here in the Big East, and they've just done a good job in their second year, and look to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, so there is something we need to mention in this game. This game did end 3-2. Mm-hmm. Our defense, I don't know what happened. We kind of fell apart a little bit, giving up 2 goals in the last 15 minutes. That's definitely not what you want to see when I was definitely thinking we weren't going to give up any goals. Mm-hmm. So overall, I think this team just needs to clean up a little bit near the end of the game because I think they just kind of get a little tired.
Right.
But overall, we're doing amazing this season. So now we're going to take it into our first commercial break, but after that, it is time to talk some Zips volleyball. So stay tuned.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner!
Go. Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there. We're the family. We're the family.
Yeah!
Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait,
Welcome back. It is now time to talk Akron Zips volleyball, so let's send it over to Mary and see what she thought about their recent game against Buffalo.
Hi guys, it's Mary with the ZTV Sports Report, and today I'll be talking about the volleyball team. I'll be covering their most recent game today, so let's see how they're doing. In their most recent match, the Zips were at home taking on the Buffalo Bulls. This game was very competitive, but in the end, the Zips lost 3-1. For the Zips, Iglishka, our setter, earned a career high of 45 assists. Carly-Ann Jones was a star on both sides of the ball this game, ending the game with 5 blocks and 10 kills. Lauren Baker and Emanuela Cristalou both led the team with an amazing 17 kills each. On Buffalo's side of the net, the Ling sisters had a great night. Mandy Ling ended the game with 42 assists, 10 digs, and 1 ace. Her sister Abby Ling also did great this game, earning 10 blocks, 2 aces, and 1 assist. This has been Mary with your ZTV Sports Report. Go Zips!
Thank you, Mary. So, Zach, this Zips team is just continuing the struggle they've been on. This Buffalo team beat us 3-1. Somewhat thanks to the Lee sisters. One is a setter, one is a hitter. So clearly they just have the sisterly connection to just do amazing. Mm-hmm. But for this Akron team, we do have to mention some amazing contributors this game, such as Aliska Vitskova. We know we love talking about her. In this game, she got a career high of 45 assists, so good for her. I was so happy for her. Melina Christovoulou and Lauren Baker both got 17 kills, and good for them. Mm-hmm. Getting 17 kills anyways is hard, let alone 2 different girls doing it. Right. That's just amazing for us. And then Carly-Ann Jones, as well as always, needs to be mentioned. She had 10 kills and 5 blocks, so she's just really being efficient this season, having a great senior season for sure. So what do you have to say about this game?
You know, Megan, I think looking into this game against Buffalo, I think you really have to tip your hat to the hitters. For the Bulls, Manuela Forlin leads the way with 14 kills. Treva Haska right behind her with 10. Abby Lee with 8. Just overall, just about 4 girls hitting in double digits in kills. I just think is absolutely insane, and it's definitely not something you want to see as a Zips fan. Mm-hmm. I just think they did a great job of just frustrating the Zips defense, making things difficult on their defense, forcing them to adjust, and just seemed like they caught us out of position a lot of time and just really made us pay for some poor defense. Because we take a look into the scoring, Buffalo wins that first set 25-23. Akron comes back with a good fight in the second set, wins that 25-23. And then just following that, Buffalo comes back, just really puts the foot on the gas and just shuts the door on the Zips. 25-22 and 25-18 in the last two sets. And this game just felt like we were fighting the inevitable. Unfortunately, it's as the game went on, it was just obvious that Buffalo was the better team, and it's like it's eventually was going to result in a loss. But a lot of credit goes to the Zips for just being tenacious, just sticking around, hanging in there, putting up a good fight, but just unfortunately weren't able to come away with the win. I think a lot of that falls on the hitting percentage. When you take a look, at the stats, Buffalo was hitting 260 in this game to Akron's 201. And then another thing just happened to be, once again, has been the case all season, just a case of committing too many errors. 26 in this game to Buffalo's 19. Not a huge discrepancy in errors there, but obviously, as the more errors you commit, the harder it is to score, the harder it is to be in that game. And I just think this game was just a case of a lot of self-inflicted wounds. And I think moving forward, the Zips can get back in the win column, keep things rolling in a just by being more efficient on their hitting, for one, and two, just cleaning up those errors, because those couple things are those couple things just can't continue moving forward if this team wants to have a serious chance at the MAC championship and being in playoff contention. And also from there, this team just has to avoid a backslide like we saw last season around this time. Just took some difficult losses in the middle of the season. The morale really went down. Injuries started to stack up, and then just made it really hard on themselves. So I just think if they can do those couple things, they can get right back in it, get their confidence back up, and continue to make a push for the MAC championship.
Yeah. Up next, our ladies have some games against Toledo and Bowling Green at home. Toledo and Taylor All is just going to be ridiculously hard because Taylor All is just an absolute powerhouse. But after those two games, I hope we can maybe find our way back into the win column, because we really need to. Right now, we stand 5th in the conference, and I fear that it will start tumbling down if we keep losing. Now, we're going to go into our second commercial break. But after that, it's time to talk Zip Soccer, so stay tuned.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's going to play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Welcome back. It is now time to talk Zips women's soccer. So, Zach, this NIU game had a slightly different outcome than normal. We were able to tie this game, which is nice to see, since this team has been losing a lot. But in this game, Katie Stafford was definitely the MVP, scoring both of our goals in this 2-2 tie. Both the goalies for these teams did amazing. We didn't see Penelope this game. It was instead Sarah Bauer. She saved 7 of the 9 shots on goal, and NIU's goalie saved 4 of the 6 shots on goal. So both goalies were just really putting in the work this game. So yeah, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I mean, this game against NIU was really a good game to watch. Just a lot of back and forth action. Making for an exciting contest. As we take a look at the stats, Katie Stafford got things started early, got the Zips rolling with the goal there in the 10th minute, and it really felt like the Zips were getting back to where they were at the start of the season, just being, you know, efficient on the goal, being aggressive, communicating well. And then from there, unfortunately, there's just a number of fouls throughout that first half. Just, you know, a lot of the physicality, you know, some tough defense, you know, forcing the Zips to miss a lot of shots. Just created a tough end of that first half. Speaking of the end of the first half, ran into a bit of a controversy, I would say.
Yeah.
You know, because
definitely
NIU got the ball down there near the goal at the end of the first half, deflects off an Akron defender, and from there, the Huskies just didn't seem to have any sense of urgency. You know, just getting the ball back in, restarting the play.
Definitely.
But then for whatever reason, the ref decides to stop the clock and gives NIU a chance to send the corner in, and from there it was just, yeah, I just had a bad feeling. It's like, oh, this might not end well.
Yeah.
And you know, unfortunately, my suspicions were correct. You know, after a lot of you know, bouncing around there in the box, NIU sends a shot in, and by the looks of it, it didn't seem to cross the line in time to be considered a goal. But you know, as we both know, it's just a very difficult thing to review.
Yeah.
And it's hard to overturn. So, you know, unfortunately, it stood. And then from there, going into the second half, NIU 2.5 minutes in scores another goal, and you're just sitting there thinking, oh no, it's happening again. And just being in a game that you have a chance to win, doing a lot of what I would consider a lot of the right things in this game, and just still being behind. It's like, oh, they're going to end up losing this game. But a lot of credit goes to the Zips for being aggressive, for staying in the game, you know, not allowing the offense to take advantage of them and just forcing the ball to the other side of the field, putting a lot of pressure on the NIU defense. And once again, just a number of fouls, even more by the looks of it, in the second half, a number of yellow cards being given in this. And, you know, the Zips got right down there near the goal. I believe it was Jordan Overhouse.
Yeah.
Forced a penalty there on NIU, and it gave Katie Stafford a chance to step up and tie the game. And, you know, she did just that. Because as we know, it's very difficult to block a penalty kick.
Yeah.
You just really have to pick a side, close your eyes, pray, hope that you're going to block the shot. And, you know, Katie was able to, you know, convert on that goal, and, you know, brought this game to a tie, in a game that could have resulted in a loss, but also very well could have resulted in a win.
Yeah.
Obviously, we would have wanted the win to get this team back on track, get their confidence back up, and getting them to play how they were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But obviously, at the end of the day, I'll take a tie. It's not a loss, so we're avoided a you know, a continued slide there.
Yeah. I
just think moving forward, the Zips aren't really out of contention. You know, Kent's sitting there at 8th at about, I think, 2 wins in the conference, maybe 3. Akron obviously doesn't have a win yet, but if they can just string together a series of wins, just continue to be aggressive, continue to communicate well, I think they can be right there in contention. Obviously, not a whole lot of time to you know, sit back and relax. Really have to put the foot on the gas, be aggressive, and I think they can do just that, because we've seen them be really good this season. They just seem to be in a bad mindset right now, just in the morale's down, things aren't going well for the Zips, and it's time for them to turn things around. And I think they're going to figure things out. And just really give themselves a chance to compete here in the postseason.
Yeah, so I think this team just needs a few more wins, honestly. So that'll be it for today's episode. As always, follow us on Instagram and X at ZTV Sports, and on YouTube at ZTV Sports Report. As always, I'm Megan Williams.
And I'm Zach Leininger.
Thank you for watching, and go Zips!
This program was produced by ZTV at the University of Akron. Do you want to gain experience in video production, professional social media, or working with real clients? Visit the UA School of Communications online or follow us on social media to learn more. ZTV, make media, make a difference.